I'm on my Luke 9. I'm daily dying. Holy Spirit, keep your boy while I'm on the grind. Full on my own, cause I know them darts flying. And I'm through playing games, homie, I ain't lying. I'm walking out the way that I had as a juvenile. But this the plan that God had before I was a child. I'm walking in my destiny, and he protecting me. I'm eating at a table prepared for my enemies. That's my homie, I ain't turning back. You hear me? I ain't turning back.
Alright, back at it with the only free MMA channel that fucking matters. And this video was requested by the notorious Double Champ. Clipping up trolls in the comment every fucking day, holding it down with me. I wanted to do this video anyway, because I would, you know what, this is a request by me too. Fucking hit her on deck, they want to hit her on deck. Tyron the Chosen One Woodley versus the world. This is gonna be a good one. Let's do the knowledge. Tyron Woodley, 17-3. Let's do the knowledge on his losses first, because Tyron Woodley has 3 losses only in his career. And of those 3 losses, after you do the knowledge, there's really only one. Let me explain. Tyron Woodley's first loss was to Nate Marquardt. He got knocked out in the 4th round. It was a championship fight in 2012 in Strikeforce. First loss. But Nate Marquardt has a PED history. This was in Strikeforce. There was no USADA. Nate Marquardt has a history of testosterone replacement therapy. BJ Penn sounded off on him before. He got busted, BJ Penn went off on him. He said, if you're gonna fucking cheat, don't even be in martial arts. So Nate Marquardt, he was a cheater. This was before USADA. So he wasn't cheating. I'm not gonna call him a cheater, but today he would be a cheater. So, but do you think Tyron Woodley was ever using PEDs? I honestly don't. Same physique, same fucking beast he was back then. He's that same OG. So, I don't hold that against Tyron Woodley, because Tyron Woodley in that fight, he almost finished Nate Marquardt twice. Tyron Woodley was a savage in that fight. Tyron Woodley entertaining in that fight. Great fucking fight. But maybe the extra testosterone helped Nate Marquardt preserve into the 4th round and finish Tyron Woodley. It was a great finish. Go watch the fight. It's a great fight. Look at Nate Marquardt. Tell me he's not pumping out that gorilla piss. Second loss. Wait, after that Nate Marquardt loss, he bounced back with the 1st round knockout in his UFC debut of Jay Haran. So that Nate Marquardt loss was a championship fight. After that, the Strikeforce was sold to the UFC. Tyron Woodley came to the UFC, and in his UFC debut, 1st round knockout Jay Haran. His second fight was against Jake Shields in the UFC. This was a controversial decision. One judge gave this fight to Tyron Woodley 30-27. So one judge had Tyron Woodley winning every round. The other 2 judges gave it to Jake Shields. Usually, whenever one judge gives one person a 30-27 and the other 2 judges give it to the other guy, there's some fishy stuff going on. If you look at that fight, Jake did absolutely no damage. Jake was trying to avoid the knockout all fight. He was clinch fucking Tyron. He was just trying to knee Tyron, making the fight boring as hell. He kind of pulled a Wonder Boy. He was just trying to avoid Tyron, hope the judges give it to him, and guess what? They did. So I don't hold that against him. Guess how Tyron bounced back? That's not he took a L, but tonight I bounced back. That's Tyron Woodley. He took that L against Marquardt, bounced back, knocked out Jay Haran. He took that L against Jake Shields. Guess what? Bounced back, comes out, finishes Josh Koscheck, finishes Carlos Condit next. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounced back. That's Tyron Woodley. Third loss, Rory McDonald. Wow, this was a fucking great fight. This was when Rory was number 2 in the world. Rory was looking like a fucking prodigy at this time, dominating everybody. Respect on Rory's name, War Rory. This was Tyron Woodley, to me's first legitimate loss, his only legitimate loss, because he's my favorite fighter. I will say that Tyron Woodley is my favorite fighter, maybe of all time. And I'll get into why. I'll tell you everything, because I feel strongly about Tyron Woodley. He is my favorite fighter. So, versus Rory McDonald, it was a great fight. Tyron had his moments in that fight, but Rory was the better fighter that night. No excuses. Respect on Rory's name. That was in 2014. Since then, guess what? Last night took a L, but tonight I bounced back. Tyron Woodley came out after the elderboard Rory, knocked out Stun Gun Kim in the first round. Tyron Woodley's got a habit of knocking guys out in the first round after his losses. All 3 losses, he came back with the fucking first round knockout. Ain't that crazy? Put some respect on Tyron's fucking name. And after he got knocked out Stun Gun Kim, he fought Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum came into the fight 10 pounds overweight. Tyron Woodley still beat him. And guess what? Tyron Woodley gave Kelvin Gastelum his fucking money back. The bonus money that he was supposed to give Tyron for missing weight, Tyron whooped his ass and let him keep his money. Here you go, son. I'm just trying to get the title. I'm not here for the money. I'm here for the title. He gave Kelvin his money back. How can you not respect that? People talk about, oh, Tyron waited for the fucking belt. That's what Tyron's here for. When Tyron was gonna get his last championship fight in Strikeforce, he fought a dude that he definitely would beat today. A guy that in both of their primes, Tyron I think is better than. In that fight, I think Tyron was the better fighter. I think the gorilla piss helped a lot. So, you can't blame Tyron. He showed he's not here for the money. He gave Kelvin Gastelum his money back and said, no, I want that title. And he waited for the title shot. Respect on his name. Say whatever you will. I understand if you're mad at Tyron. I understand if you don't like Tyron. I understand all that. I'm not mad at you. I'm just explaining my perspective. What did he do against Robbie Lawler? This Robbie Lawler fight is the fight that put Tyron on my radar. This is the fight that made me look up all of Tyron's history. This is the fight that made me a Tyron Woodley fan. This is the fight, because I'll explain what happened. I was watching this fight with my friends. We even had some of the casual people over. I had some of my cousin over. I had some of my friend that does actually enjoy UFC, a hardcore fan. And then I had some of my other friends over, brother and stuff. Okay, anyways, I digress. Robbie Lawler. I was like, man, I'm fucking going for Tyron Woodley. I'm going for Tyron. I picked him before the fight because I seen Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald, and I was like, man, that was a war. I seen Tyron, the highlights before the fight. I was like, I'm picking Tyron. I was like, he's gonna have to watch out for that overhand right. And in that first round, I was like, oh no. It's funny because I'm not a fighter, but I do know a little bit about fights. So I was like, why is Robbie circling to Tyron's left? What is he doing? If you know somebody has a fucking powerful overhand right, you don't circle to their left, because that brings the momentum to the punch. That adds extra oomph to that punch. If you're circling to his right, then you're avoiding the right. A lot of people know what I'm talking about, but Robbie Lawler came out in the first round circling to Tyron's left, and I was like, oh my god, I was literally witnessing what was about to happen. It was like the fucking Matrix. I was like, he's circling to his left. That right's about to take him out. So, what happens? 10 seconds later, fucking vicious KO, Robbie Lawler the champion, and new. Tyron Woodley's the champ. I felt kind of cool. It was funny because I was saying, oh no, he's circling to his left out loud. He's about to get knocked out, and then it happened. And then it happens. You know how that is. If you're a fight fan, you know how that is. So I predicted that shit. It was funny. So then we have the Stephen Thompson fights, which I don't hold against Tyron because he was the champion. He's fighting a counter striker. It's hard to prepare for the guy. In the first fight, Tyron almost finished him twice. Tyron won the first fight, and they called it a fucking draw. That wasn't a draw. So I don't want to hear anything about it. Stephen Thompson didn't deserve the rematch. To me, Tyron won the first one. Stephen didn't deserve the rematch. So if you don't deserve the rematch, when you come in, you better go for broke. You better push the pace. You better not. What are you doing sitting there waiting all fight? I know that's your style, but you have to change things up when you get a rematch. Especially, dude, you have everything to lose. Everything to gain, nothing to lose. I'm sorry. Tyron Woodley has everything to lose. Stephen Thompson had nothing to lose. Nothing. And he still made it a boring fight, and everyone's mad at Tyron. I'm not. I respect on Tyron's name. He did what he had to do. I was kind of happy that he fucking did that. It kind of rubbed it in the UFC's face, like, you guys wanted this rematch. Why ain't your boy coming at me? Why ain't your boy come pushing the pace? He's got everything to lose. Tyron Woodley, he fought a smart fight. Tyron Woodley's a very smart guy. He's a cerebral fighter. I like that. So respect on Tyron's name. There's the knowledge on his losses. Now I'm going to tell you why Tyron Woodley's really my favorite fighter of all time. I'm going to tell you why. And then I'll get into the versus the world. I'll go into the 1 versus 15 welterweight Tyron Woodley and what I think would happen. But this is why Tyron Woodley's my favorite fighter of all time. Because not just the fighting style. It's also because he's an underrated role model. I told you guys Sage Northcutt was one of my favorite fighters. Why? Because if my son or my nephew was ever going to watch a fighter, if they ever were interested in MMA, but also still being a man, a good man, that's a fucking great role model. He doesn't curse in public. I have a potty mouth. I need to stop cussing as much as I do. I know that. But that's what I do, so that'll come in time as I try. But right now, you know, it's hard. But guess what? I respect people who do that because I understand why they're doing that. There's people listening. There might be a young kid listening, and they don't need to hear all them darn cuss words. See, look, good job. I did it. Like Tyron. You hear him say darn all the time. Tyron can flame somebody. Tyron can talk that shit. But he's got eyes watching him at all times. He's a role model. Fucking respect. Tyron Woodley's a great man. He's a great dad. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. I almost fucking love this dude on a personal level. No homo. Pause. It might be because I can relate to Tyron Woodley. What do I say? Real recognize real. And guess what? Tyron's my fucking guy. When I put everything about Tyron, when I first wrote the notes on this video, I could have shed a tear. But I didn't. I'm not now because I'm recording it and that emotion's not there. But I'm being honest. When I put everything together, Tyron Woodley came from Ferguson, Missouri. He came from the streets. He came from the street life, which is hard. The ghetto, whatever, what is that what they call it? You might not relate to that, but I do. I understand I understand what comes with that. So respect on Tyron Woodley's name. That background's hard to break out of. There's a lot of people that won't break out of that background. They don't think about it. They're hopeless. Not helpless, they're hopeless. They could, but they're hopeless. They got a fucking job, they got stuff going on, a family, so they're content with living in poverty or living wherever they're living. And respect on their fucking name. Like I said, I push a fucking broom. So I'm telling you, I understand that shit. So respect on fucking Tyron's name. I'm gonna digress because this is MMA. But that's why I feel so strongly about Tyron Woodley, because I see perseverance when I see Tyron Woodley. He's more than just a fighter to me. All the Tyron Woodley hate, I'm fine with. It's entertaining. Tyron. I might crack a joke on Tyron every now and then, because I enjoy entertainment and comedy, and that shit's hilarious. But all jokes aside, respect on Tyron Woodley's fucking name, and I'm rooting for him to win all of his fights. I will clip a fucking troll up. I'll hold it down. Man on deck for Tyron. Fan till the end. Now let's get to versus the world. What do I think would happen? Tyron Woodley versus Damian Maia. Ooh, we will see what happens. But you know I'm rooting for Tyron. I think Tyron's gonna win. I think Tyron Woodley's the best fucking welterweight right now. I don't think anybody, spoiler alert, nobody in the top 15 is beating Tyron Woodley. I think he's the best welterweight right now, and he could prove to be the best welterweight of all time. He could prove to be. He will be in that conversation, in my opinion. Say what you will about GSP. Say what you will. But Tyron Woodley will be in that conversation when all is said and done. So, how do I think it would go down Damian Maia? I think Tyron Woodley's gonna have, kind of like versus Wonder Boy. He's gonna have to be cerebral. He's gonna have to be smart. He can't play Damian Maia's game. If that causes for a boring fight, I understand if you don't like it. I understand if you're mad because you wasted your time. But guess what? Pussy, you ain't in the cage. So, if Tyron Woodley has to do that to win the fight, respect on his name. But we know Tyron Woodley will be looking for a finish if it's there. We know Tyron Woodley wants to finish. We know Tyron Woodley wants to keep the belt. He's not going to force the finish, but he will finish. So, if Damian Maia circles to his left, I doubt he will. He can get finished. I think Tyron Woodley's defensive wrestling is better than Jorge Masvidal's, and Jorge Masvidal stifled Damian Maia. I think Tyron Woodley has more power. So if Damian Maia is in guard, Tyron Woodley can do some damage in Damian Maia's guard. Yeah, Damian Maia is going to be looking for submissions. In most guys, Damian Maia is not worried about the guard. You got to be worried about Tyron Woodley even in the guard. So I got Tyron Woodley versus Damian Maia. Versus Stephen Thompson, we've seen it. Why is he still at number 2? Move him down. Versus Robbie Lawler, I got Tyron Woodley by knockout. Again, a lot of people disagree with that. Robbie came in there and circled to his fucking left. Maybe if Robbie comes in there and circles to his right this time, maybe he'll last longer. But I got Tyron. I like Robbie Lawler. Love Robbie Lawler. One of my favorite fighters. But I just don't think he can beat Tyron right now. Carlos Condit already got beat by Tyron. Finished by Tyron. Leg kick. TKO. Tyron Woodley's got some strong ass leg kicks though. So Carlos Condit, he's retired. Take him off the list. I've said that before. Jorge Masvidal versus Tyron. Jorge Masvidal, one of my favorite fighters. Tyron Woodley, my favorite fighter. Who do I got in that fight? Tyron Woodley. He might knock Jorge out. I think he's just a better overall fighter than Jorge. Jorge's got hands out of this world, but Tyron presents way too many threats. Way too many, in my opinion. I love Jorge, but Tyron got him. To me, best welterweight. Neil Magny, Tyron. Dong Young Kim, already finished him. Tyron. Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone couldn't get past Jorge. Jorge can't get past Tyron, in my opinion. Tyron would finish Cerrone. I would love to watch that fight. I would love to watch it. I would love, maybe Donald Cerrone can pull off a Michael Bisping. Maybe he can do something like that. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible for Tyron to lose. I'm just saying I would pick him to beat all of these guys. So, Donald Cerrone, finished by Tyron. Gunnar Nelson, same thing with Damian Maia, but Tyron. Same thing. Kamaru Usman, of course. Let's go. Kamaru Usman, Tarek Safdie, Ryan LaFair, Santiago, Matt Brown, Leon Edwards. I'm going with Tyron to finish all of those guys. We need Tyron Woodley's. He might turn this welterweight division into what Demetrius Johnson's doing in the flyweight division. I'm telling you guys. I don't see anybody beating Tyron Woodley anytime soon. I don't. So, I don't know what to say, man. Fuck it. It is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments.